Chef Andrew Forlines with chefaf.com, your guide to the home kitchen appliance industry, wanting to help educate you on what's available, how to select it, and how to use it once you get it in your dream kitchen project. Today I'm in the Ferguson showroom here in Denver, Colorado. This is a dedicated retailer with appliances. They have their certified technicians for install and delivery. They're gonna stand behind that work. They're gonna have that relationship with you and do the education first approach to sales. So we want you to be empowered and make a fully informed decision on what appliances fit your home and your needs the best. That's what I'm here for today. So my background is in fine dining. I did 5-star hotel chef work for many years. I trained at the Broadmoor Hotel as a chef apprentice, working my way up through the restaurants. Did some work in molecular gastronomy, so very food science focused approach to cooking and to understanding what's happening in the appliances. And I want to show you home chefs how to harness this power. So we can't really approach our kitchen remodel, we can't approach our appliance portfolio the same way we did before, range, fridge, dishwasher, be done. We're gonna wanna evaluate the different types of ovens. We've got steam ovens, speed ovens, convection oven. Same with cooktops. There's induction, there's gas, there's electric. So we wanna really kind of go into that. You're always welcome to go chefaf.com to grab the resources to help follow along this series with the printouts and the handouts that are available there. There's the appliance buyer's guide, which I really encourage people to use to self-identify their style of use for their home kitchen and their interest in different technologies. Today's episode is the overview of modern kitchen appliance technologies. So this is just a big overview of what's available now. Later episodes, we're going to dive a little bit deeper in detail for all of these different types of available technology. The technology enables cooking techniques, right? So we roast and bake in an oven, we simmer and boil, saute on the cooktop. But now we're starting to see a real articulation of those different techniques. So we're seeing more control. So the modern cuisine movement, the molecular gastronomy, is really about precision, control, and feedback. So real-time feedback of what you're doing that you can adjust as you need to. So with those in mind, we're gonna look at some of these appliances like steam ovens. So steam ovens are the gold standard and have been for since the 1970s in restaurants and hotels. So steam oven, in the restaurant world, we call them combi ovens for combination of convection and steam. They're now available in the home space, which means you have a full steamer at the touch of a button, get full steam vegetables, poach fish, cook grains or pasta in there if you like. And so just steam, you can do all the steamer things that you would steam, say on the stove with a basket, which is quite cumbersome. You get much quicker steam in the steam oven. Then it also is a small full convection oven, so it can be your overrun oven. So say you're having a big party or it's Thanksgiving and you need more oven space, that can be a convection. Know that steam ovens are a bit smaller than your standard oven. Because of the steam element, we want them to be a bit smaller, so we're not having to boil tons of water to create that steam in there. Then you also have combination modes. So that's when we're creating an environment where we can control the temperature and the humidity level. Now this gets you your maximum control, so I can roast chicken in there, but it won't dry out if I say 10, 20% humidity, right? So we're able to get the browning, but also keep some moisture in there. Here in Colorado, it's a very dry climate, and with the lack of air pressure, water evaporates off very quickly. So we get things to dry out. So it's nice to have an oven that'll inject a bit of steam. The different brands are gonna have different features and functions. Some of them have more control or less control, but it's really brand by brand. You're gonna have to discover with your sales rep, or in the upcoming steam oven episode where we go deeper in dive. And match up some of the features and functions to the brands that are out there. Steam ovens also, some can be compatible with sous vide cooking. Sous vide is a specific cooking technique some people are familiar with. It's become quite common now, much more mainstream. You can get the necessary equipment at, say, your Target or online. They have residential versions. So sous vide cooking, just a quick primer. Sous vide means under vacuum. Sous chef is under chef. Sous vide just means under vacuum in French. because we're gonna pack the food in a vacuum. So we can either do a vacuum chamber, or at home you would probably have a vacuum suction chamber. So a suction vacuum sealer, like a food saver, sucks the air out of the bag, heat seals the bag. So the food is now not gonna be exposed to air or water when it's cooking. Those both are empty and wanna pull flavor out. When we boil vegetables, the water turns green because that's the flavor and nutrients coming out. When we put it in a food grade, high temp, BPA-free bag that sous vide needs, and then we submerge that food in whatever flavorings, seasonings, butter we've put in that bag with it, we're gonna put it into a water-rich environment, which can consistently cook it at a very low temperature. So we're able to have precision cooking there. So that's the brief primer on sous vide, which these steam ovens now, some are sous vide compatible or capable, so you're not needing another, say, a piece of appliance where we're gonna need an immersion circulator. We're able to put it right in that sous vide oven. And then some of the premium brands actually have vacuum chamber drawers that can be put underneath a steam oven. So you can have that full setup like I would have in my commercial kitchen with a vacuum chamber, which enables us to do a lot more than just the suction chamber sealers. So that's the steam oven. We'll talk briefly on speed ovens. I find people either go with a steam oven or a speed oven. Sometimes they can get both depending on the portfolio, but steam oven is a little more hands-on gourmet cooking. Speed oven is about convenience and speed. Speed ovens are microwave plus convection. So we're able to use some microwave with convection or a baking element and a broiling element. Some of them have quite a few elements in there. So we're able to speed up the cooking internally with a microwave, but also still roast and bake so we get that quality food cooked a little bit quicker, right? So we're shaving some time off there. So you get that ease and that speed, that convenience. So when it's, say, a weekday and you need to get dinner going, we can have, baked chicken breasts, roasted chicken, or whatever we're cooking in a shorter amount of time. They also function like a microwave in that it has a full program or food cycle that it's gonna cook, and then it automatically shuts off. Doesn't preheat like an oven would, unless you're using it in just the convection oven mode, which is great for younger people at home cooking, especially children. I would feel comfortable with children eating, cooking in the kitchen, with the microwave before using the range, because it has that automatic shut off. So the speed oven has the convenience of a microwave, some of the speed, but then the quality and food nutrition of, say, your standard cooking. So you get a little bit of best of both. And those, I think, are great for people that want that speed and convenience. Convection ovens now. Convection, I still get a lot of questions on convection, so we'll cover here. And it's pretty pervasive at this point. Convection ovens are what I grew up cooking on in restaurants, so it's my standard go-to. Usually we reduce 25 degrees when we're converting a conventional oven recipe to convection. So 325 instead of 350 if it was your conventional passive heat transfer. Convection is just a fan that moves the air around, right? So what that means is it's replenishing the heat around the food as that food is cooking and absorbing that heat, so that it can cook quicker and get more crisping on the outside. So think of, say, we're blowing on food to cool it off, like soup or something. That's convection. We're just doing it in the reverse. We're trying to cool something off. You're replenishing the air supply around the food so that it can absorb the difference of temperature. When we have a conventional oven, which is just a heating element, it's gonna have stagnant air that's passively transferring heat, right? It's gonna be a much slower process. You're gonna have directional heating. So you're gonna have brown bottoms and paler tops on some of those baked goods. So convection is gonna even out that heat distribution and then speed up the cooking process. Side note is that the air fryers that we see everyone buying and putting on their counters are really a smaller and maybe a little more intensified convection oven. So you get that heating element and a lot of air. So we're able to replenish air and heat around the food very quickly, getting it very crisp and almost replicating the fried food flavor and crispiness. But air frying does not fry, it bakes and roasts at a high degree. So what we're seeing is a lot of newer ovens are actually having an air fry function, where maybe they're just turning up the convection a little bit for us to be able to have more airflow to get that crispiness on your food. So convection ovens, now also mid-grade and above, are really coming with the built-in probe. So we can have a probe thermometer go into our chicken, our roast, whatever we're cooking, and then it plugs into the wall of the oven on the inside and automatically alerts the oven that, hey, we were gonna cook to temperature and not just by time. So then we can set the temperature, say chicken at 160, 165, then it's gonna show us the real-time readout as it's cooking. So a lot of our appliances and our ovens now come with those built-in appliances, or pardon me, built-in probe thermometers to give you that temperature as it's cooking. Induction. So we're gonna go from ovens over to the cooktop, to the burners. The induction burners are electric powered, but they're not at all like the electric burners that we think of that get glowing red hot. Personally, I'm a huge fan of induction. I have it in my home. Chefs have been using it in restaurants and commercially for years. It's just another tool in our toolkit. Induction burners use an electromagnetic field, so electric copper coil electric field generator that is gonna interact with the metal of your cookware directly instead of having that chain reaction like a gas burner would or an electric coil top would. So coil tops or even glass top electric get glowing red hot and that heat transfers up. Induction is using that magnetic field to reach up and grab the molecules of the metal of themselves and create friction in the pan, creating heat. So when we do that, we have a much higher efficiency and actually have a higher heat output than we can with gas or electric. The efficiency is 90% with induction. So 90% of the energy is going in, becoming heat that you can use to cook with. Electric, glowing top electric, is 75% efficient. To stop the cooking process, you have to move the pot or pan, and all that heat is gonna go into the house, heating up the house in the summer. It's also glowing red hot, which is a safety issue. So food also is gonna cook on there, on that glass top, on that red top. So you're gonna have a harder time keeping it clean, whereas induction, the only heat it gets is from the pan back down to the glass top. Now here's the secret. Gas burners, residential gas burners, are very different than commercial. A lot of the cooking we see on chef shows are commercial ranges, which have much higher BTU output than residential. Gas in the home burns at about 40% efficient. So 60% of the gas you pay for and burn, that heat goes right around the pan before the metal can absorb it. And you're having a lot more air quality issues and pollutants in the home to consider and to think about and having to filter it out. BTU output is much higher also on power. The BTU output is much higher on induction than gas. So gas ranges, gas burners in the home, you can't have them over 25,000 is the highest I've ever seen. I think most burners in gas cooktops are 15 to 18, maybe 20,000 BTU. Whereas in commercial gas burners, each burner is 40,000 BTUs, all the way up to 100,000 plus for, let's say, wok cooking. Induction is 35,000 BTU equivalent. So about 150% of what gas can provide in the home. So when we're building appliances to home specifications, we can only have so much heat output. We can only heat up cabinetry so much. There's people living in that environment, so we can't have fire hazards. In restaurants, we have fire suppression systems, ventilation. It's all stainless steel and concrete, so we're not having the same issues, so we can have a lot of heat in there. So induction, in my mind, wins with power output, with higher BTU output, with cleanability, safety, efficiency. Your ventilation needs are much lower with induction. So for all these reasons, I really do strongly urge people to consider induction in the home. Also possible to get gas flame burners outdoors, which would then have higher BTU than you could have indoors, and your ventilation requirements are non-existent if you're not building it in, say, under the awning of the house. So things to consider there is you can get a bit of both, best of both worlds, going indoors with induction for all those great reasons, and then outdoors do your gas. So smart appliances, what we're going to be talking about next here. Smart appliances, are our connected appliances, our Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connected. They're also going to have some of the automated cooking recipes built into their touchscreens, so you're able to get, the information from your oven in your phone on your app, right? So that we're able to adjust the temperature, or if we're using a probe thermometer, see what temperature the meat is as we're cooking it. We're able to adjust it or change it. A lot of people talk about preheating the oven on your way home from work. That's great if you set it up for that. I don't think of it as out of home cooking. I like it as other room cooking. So say I've got dinner going and I want to be able to look on my phone and see what temperature it is and when I need to adjust it so that I can spend time with my guests when they arrive. So I can have a glass of wine and not worry about checking, what I'm cooking constantly because I can see it. Especially if we use that probe thermometer and see the real-time readout of the food cooking. It's really going to put us at peace of mind. I'm a big fan of a technology that enables us to do more with less effort and do things better or easier than we have been doing them, so we don't have to worry about overcooking, undercooking, all that stuff. So in conclusion, what we want to think about when we go in looking for our appliances or thinking about the industry of what's available, we're going to want to see what your style preferences are. So like we've talked a bit about these automated connected appliances, we're seeing a real split in the market. We're seeing appliances that are getting tech-driven, that are touchscreen, that have automated cooking cycles that might educate you and teach you as you're cooking if you're someone who's not as familiar. And then we have the old style appliances that are more manual, they're more interactive, tactile. I tell it what to do instead of it telling me what to do. So there is something for everybody in that regard. So, if you walk into a showroom and see tons of appliances, just know that we can kind of eliminate quite a bit just by asking a few questions about what's your preferred interaction style. So we've also got, the tech savvy approach, we have the manual approach, then you're gonna have traditional versus modern. That's more about your style aesthetic. Do you want it sleek and discreet, or do you want that classic traditional look of knobs and handles and things? So there's more to choose from than ever before. There's definitely a lot to consider that you didn't have to when it comes to appliances, which is great. It means we have more technology available, more precise, more specific technology and appliances that fit different needs differently. So, I'm here to help guide you through this decision process, selection process, and try to help give you the information you need to make that decision with confidence. I'm happy to help. You can check out all that I do at chefaf.com. You can reach out for a consultation or download the Appliance Buyer's Guide. Always happy to help. There's free webinars on there as well for you to learn more about these technologies and listen to more episodes of the Chef AF Modern Kitchen podcast, because we're going to go in deeper on all of these technologies so that you can make your decision with confidence and know all that you need to know in picking your perfect home kitchen appliance portfolio. Thanks a lot for listening, and I will see you next time